to repeat and build upon our last lesson. And this is the most important thing to keep in mind. Dialogue is informed by the definition and establishment of character. A character who is created for your specific story and to serve a specific theme. So first and foremost, we need to remember and define our character in terms of a person's goal. Since this is the first and most important thing you have to know and for the audience to learn. And because the goal is the basis for conflict, and the conflict is the basis for story, that goal is going to determine his or her behavior. By the way, one of the questions I asked the staff is the strategy that I use myself and came up with when I first started writing and developing characters. And that was, what do these two people do on their day off if they have absolutely nothing on their schedules? Getting back to the writing of dialogue, some other very helpful pieces of advice I found useful for myself, my students. First, always read your dialogue out loud. Read it as you intend it to be said. And often, and I know I do, you'll hear what's clunky. You'll feel what's hard or awkward to say. You'll realize what's overly expositional or wordy. And that might be your intention, for someone to be clunky or awkward or expositional in how they express themselves. But when it isn't, you'll be able to hear it and you can address it. Your protagonist should never talk without a purpose, even if that's what it sounds like he or she is doing. Because once again, the conflict has focused all his or her actions from the first act break onward. And as for what they would not say, don't be afraid of silence, awkward pauses between characters, of a character not answering a question, which of course is an answer, of unspoken moments or freighted beats when a character should say something but doesn't. It can often be more powerful than any line you could give him or her. This is about discovery, about developing your own style, developing your own voice. And part of developing your own voice is to communicate what isn't said as much as what is said. And that's the notion of subtext that I think I've already mentioned a few times,